Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mangus, and it is finally time to talk about the Fire Emblem 8 Patreon PME once again. So we have now filled out every single playable unit slot in the Fire Emblem 8 PME. There's going to be in total 45 playable characters, and you can go check them all out by visiting the Google Doc linked in the video description below. We had a lot of fun selecting, and congratulations to everyone who got in. Right now, people are kind of busy writing up their own custom supports. We've allowed 3 custom supports per playable character. There's even a special chat on Discord called Support Crafting, which you have to ask a mod for permission to join if you're part of the Fire Emblem 8 PME. And a lot of people are having fun writing up their custom supports. So definitely go do that while you're waiting for the PME to come out if you haven't already. Anyway, in this video we're going to talk about how you generate your boss character. For everyone who didn't get in, and for all my Twitch subscribers, you will have a chance to insert a boss character, a mini-boss, or a green unit into the PME. And this spot is guaranteed. If you submit it, it will come into the hack unless you break the rules, in which case we will just tell you, to redo your submission. So as always, linked in the video description below, as well as in the pinned comment section. For those viewing on your phones, there's going to be a template. Take this template and fill it out and send it in to fireemblem8pme@gmail.com, the same mail you've been using for all the other submissions. And please don't bump your old mail. If you submitted a playable character, don't bump it, just make a new one. It's going to be much easier that way. So yeah, I'm just going to be walking you guys through it and telling you guys exactly how to do it. So of course, the first thing you need to fill out is just some information. Again, don't worry, we won't be sharing this with anyone. Your Patreon or Twitch name. If you are both a Patreon subscriber and a Twitch subscriber, just take the Patreon name. It's probably easier that way. And then give us your Discord username. And please remember to include the hashtag and your actual tag, because that's usually what we use to locate you, as well as your mail. Whatever mail you want us to contact you on in case we need to get in touch with you. Then, instead of replacing characters this time around, you are actually just going to be putting in the chapter that you want to appear in. And the reason behind this is that if someone already selected your chapter, you will appear in the same chapter as the other unit, but you will just replace one of the enemies instead, and you'll just be a normal boss. You'll still be as powerful as an endgame boss, as an end chapter boss, but you'll just be on the battlefield instead. So some chapters will actually feature multiple bosses, but there will be 3 preferred chapters, so you can fill in your 3 most desired chapters. Now, you don't need to specify whether or not you want to be a boss or a mini-boss. We will just decide that for you, pretty much. But if you want to be a green unit, you have to type in Chapter 19 and then type green unit. In Chapter 19, the chapter where you defend Rouston, there are 8 green units in total. So there are 8 slots available for green units if you want to be one of the green units defending the castle. There are actually 9, but the general next to the king that you need to defend is actually going to be a recruitable playable character. So yeah, if you want to be a green unit, all the same rules apply. You'll just be fighting on the good guy side in that one chapter instead. So yeah, a couple things before we get into the chapters themselves. We will be using B to describe Ephraim's route, aka Regi's route, and A to describe Erika's route, aka Nono's route. So for example, 13B, that's Fluorspot's oath, just so that's clear. So when you select the chapter you want to be in, and also I will be linking a list of chapters in the video description below if you want to go check them out, keep in mind that some of the chapters already have pre-planned bosses. These chapters include chapter 13B, 14B, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, and 21. So if you want to be a boss in any of these chapters, you will automatically become a mini-boss, since the boss chapter is already pre-planned. This also includes the last chapter, the final chapter, of course. And we won't reveal who the final boss is. You're gonna have to figure that one out on your own. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If you select any of these chapters, you will not be the main boss. Also, in some of these chapters, we will actually change the appearance of the bosses. Any boss that does not start out on a gate or a throne will actually move to attack you. And these bosses will be in Chapter 4, Chapter 5, Chapter 6, Chapter 9A, 11A, 11B, 12B, 13A, 13B, 15, and 17. So the bosses in these chapters will actually move to attack you. So if you want to be a boss in any of these chapters, or a main boss, you can actually benefit from some skills that increase your movement and so forth. So we thought we'd inform you guys about that. So yeah, type in the 3 chapters you most want to appear in, and if you type chapter 19, specify whether or not you would like to be a green unit fighting on the good guys side. Alright, so then of course we come to the fluff, as I like to call it, the boss name, of course, the portrait, and the description. If you are a silver tier Patreon and you didn't get in, you will of course get a custom portrait made by the PME team. If you're not a silver tier Patreon, you can just suggest a standard splice, like for example you can say Kaelak with brown hair and glasses. Any minor details like that is fine. Then of course you want a description, the thing that I always skip, but people like it anyway. Then we come to the actual stats of the boss, your class and your promoted class. Just type in your tier 1 and tier 2 class. If you take the place of a promoted boss, you will be a promoted character. If you take the class of a unpromoted boss, you will become a tier 1 class. Classes that you cannot pick for this one, you cannot pick Dancer, because Dancers can't fight, and no, we don't have a Dancer script for the AI, so they'll just stand around being useless. I mean, I guess you can be a Dancer boss if you really want to, but you're not going to be particularly useful. But any class actually goes here. Yes, you can be a Mannequin. Yes, you can be a monster class. You can be a Mogal, a Gwilgi, a Cyclops. You certainly can. The only classes that you cannot be is, like, you can't be a Necromancer, because that's class going to be taken and replaced with something else. Aside from that, I think everything goes. Just type in your tier 1 class and your tier 2 class. Then your gender, of course. We only have 2 genders here. Your affinity, it's not really important, but still, bosses in Fire Emblem 8 have affinities, so you might as well put in one. Then we're going to keep the Boon and the Bane. This will affect your bases, so just type in a Boon and a Bane. Then we come to the interesting part, skills. Bosses will have 3 skills, and there's going to be linked a list of skills in the video description below. And bosses have a much more extensive list of skills that they can pick between. Some skills, however, are strong skills, and some skills are normal skills. They're separated into 2 categories. And basically, you have 3 slots. You can select up to 3 skills, and you can select the mastery skills of the promoted classes, such as Astra for the Swordmaster. However, in this document, we will also show you what classes have what skills. So, for example, if you're a Swordmaster boss, you shouldn't pick Astra, because you're going to get that anyway. So the skills are, as I said, they're separated into 2 categories, 1-slot skills and 2-slot skills. If you select a 2-slot skill, that takes up 2 slots, so you can only have a 2-slot skill and one 1-slot skill, or you can have 3 1-slot skills. So take your time, pick whatever skills you want, and those are the 3 skills that you will have, or 2 skills if you pick a strong skill. And the same thing goes if you're a green unit, you can have all the same skills. And keep in mind that if you're in a chapter where you will move, you can select a movement skill if you want. That's going to benefit you. So yeah, select your 3 skills, and then we will move on to the inventory. Again, you'll have 3 slots, and bosses will, similar to the Fire Emblem 7 PME, have 3 slots for items. They can purchase up to items worth 10,000 gold. And please, 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 when you do this, make sure that you check the total worth of items from Sacred Stones, because the items have different values in the different games. So don't go look up a list for Fire Emblem 7, for example, because you will get it wrong. There are some massive differences. For example, the Braid weapons are much more expensive in certain games. So we're going to be a little bit nice, however. If you want to buy stat boosters or gems for the playable characters to take from your body, those items will actually be half price. So for example, if you want your 3rd item to be Speed Wings, which normally are worth 8,000, those will actually only be worth 4,000 now. So if you want to be nice, you want to include a stat booster in your inventory for the playable characters to get, you can actually select that without, blowing all your gold now. Would previously cost you 8,000, but now it's only going to cost you 4,000. But aside from that, you can pick up any item that you want. You can't pick up any of the legendary items, of course, but any item that is in the that can be bought and sold in the game normally, you can get your hands on. You can't buy items that have no value, so you can't buy silver cards, member cards, Memphis scrolls. You can't buy anti-monster weapons. There's no point in that, since none of the playable characters are monsters anyway. And of course, if you do pick a monster class that do not use weapons, like for example, if you're a Bone Walker, you will use weapons as normal, but if you are, for example, a Gwilgi or an Archmogal, you will just get the weapon of the monster that you choose, and then you can deck out your inventory with other kinds of items instead, like treasure or maybe other kinds of things. So you don't have to worry about that, since the monster weapons have no value. You will just get a monster weapon naturally. You don't have to put that in here. Then we come to the final part, your battle quote, aka what you say when attacked. And then you can also have a single special quote, and you can decide on if there's anything you want to say to any of the playable characters. So for example, if you want to say, hey, fuck you to Noe, for example, or no, your boss can say that. Now, if you want them to answer you back, if you want there to actually be a dialogue between you and the playable character, you have to go ask them for their consent. You can't just write up lines for them. Some of them might not like that, but you can contact them on Discord and you can say, hey, do you want to have a conversation? Do you want to like answer me back? And then you can send in that as well, but you have to like, they have to vouch for you and actually confirm that you've gotten their consent to write their lines. And then of course the death quote, what you say when you die. Now once you've filled in this, send this into Fire Emblem 8 PME@gmail.com under a new mail, please. Don't bump your old mail, and just yeah, you just include the name of your boss, whatever you want in the title really. And yeah, we will, as I said, when you submit, you actually have a guaranteed chance to come in. There will be no draft or anything like that. You will just automatically be placed into whatever chapter you want to appear in, and some chapters will probably have multiple bosses. We will answer you telling you whether or not you become a mini boss or a main boss or a green unit, whatever you want to be. So yeah, hope you guys will have fun with this. Mail in your characters, and yeah, the PME team are gonna get to work, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So there might be some more videos coming out in the future, giving you guys updates. If you're on my Discord server, then I will post news in the Fire Emblem 8 PME news channel. So definitely stay tuned for that, and have fun creating your bosses, guys. And of course, I also want to say, once your boss has been submitted, just like with the playable characters, just like with the supports, once it is submitted and accepted, that's it. It stays the way it is. You can't send in another mail to redo it, no matter how much you beg and beg and beg. Sorry, we're very, very strict on this. Once the character has been submitted, it's final. You can't change it. And this is just for our own sanity, because some people, I swear to God, some people sent in 10 mails during the Fire Emblem 7 PME wanting to change their character, and it just got way too much, so we just had to put our foot down on it. Anyway, guys, looking forward to see your bosses, and hope you guys will enjoy being in the PME. My name's Mengs, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!